What is happening, my good people? Greetings. How are you? How's it going? How's everybody doing out there? What is the latest and greatest? Hope everybody's doing well, feeling fantastic and excellent spirit here on this April Fool's Day. That's right. Another month, the second quarter of 2026. There you go. One quarter down, 3 to go, and it just keeps on flying. But let's enjoy it. Here in the Northeast, another beautiful day. It's in the 70s. It's feeling like summer, and I embrace that with open arms. But you're not here to listen to weather reports, especially in certain parts of the world or country or wherever you may be. I'm sure it's the last thing you want to hear. But with that being said, obviously a lot to unpack here over the course of this next hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, who knows, as we delve into all that's happening in sports. And I'll get to not a hot button topic, but it's more of a personal, how could I say, assessment. Let's get right to it. But before that, share your thoughts in the chat room as always. My usual suspects, they always do that. And then some, which I appreciate from the bottom of my heart, which you already know. And those who are watching the replay, don't be shy. Leave a comment as well. I'll follow up after the fact, even though you're not on live with us, but you could certainly chime in on whatever you may agree, disagree, debate, and I'll be sure to get back at you. So please leave a comment as well. And speaking of which, let's see what we got here so far. Not feeling too well, J-Rod? What's your man, the clan health vision? Okay. Well, listen, maybe you could go afterwards. Hopefully that'd be the case because, obviously health is wealth, man, as we talk about here quite a bit. And even last night on that live stream, which was pretty interesting. But with that being said, let's get right to it. Now that we've turned the calendar and the month of April is here, as you see in the graphic, is April the best sports month of the year? And I have to start there because to me personally, I think it is. And it's not even close. I understand October is, for a lot of people, the most popular sports month of the year. I get it. During that time, you have the NFL in full swing, college football, obviously, same deal. The MLB playoffs, which obviously it's a 3.5-week sprint to see who's going to be crowned the world champion in that sport. And then on top of that, you have the beginning of the NHL and NBA seasons. So right there, you have 5 sports, and the main sports, especially here in this country, that are off and running, and people, they could argue and debate that all they want, and that's fine. Listen, I could totally see why people would think that way. But to me, April is a slam dunk, and dunks, let's just put it that way, over October for these reasons. Let's break it down. Yeah, baseball, which you have a ton of afternoon games. The Mets are going to play at 1:15, so I'll be turning that on while we're here during this live stream. And I know they got Braves and Athletics. I'll probably put that on first because that game is going to start, I think, in about 15 minutes. But you have the baseball. The first week just about concluded as we are underway there. You have the Final Four this weekend with the semifinal game Saturday and, of course, a championship game on Monday where who will cut down the nets to be college basketball's champion as March Madness is now out and here into the final 3 games of college basketball. You also have the Masters a week from tomorrow, the tradition unlike any other down in Augusta that opens up the golf season, especially when it comes to the majors. We understand golf, they've had the tournaments, Bay Hill and the LA Open, Valero, etc. But with that being said, there is nothing like watching the Masters, watching that tournament, the azaleas blooming, the greens. It is arguably the best golf course in the world. And you got 4 days starting next week where everybody will be teeing off to see who's going to be crowned, not only just a champion, who's going to wear the green jacket. Then you have the NBA and Stanley Cup playoffs, which will start 2 weeks from Saturday. You also have the NFL draft. That's right. The NFL draft will be, I think, the 23rd. It's 3 weeks from tomorrow. And we know that's a 3-day extravaganza, which is in Pittsburgh. So people, listen, that's why April by far. And then not only that, but then you have the nicer weather that's coming. You have the summer that's off in the distance where fall, I get it. Weather in October, depending on where you live at. I understand the changing of the leaves and the colors, and you're drinking your pumpkin lattes and you're having your apple cider donuts and all that, and you're wearing your hoodies or sweaters. Give me T-shirts, give me shorts, give me flip-flops, because although you're not going to really wear that in April, although today you could get away with it, But for me, April, hands down, the best sports month. So let's see. Anybody comment on that? I'm curious. Oh, look at this. Mark, I appreciate it. Thank you. And I hope you're not being facetious, but thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. 3:15. All right, good. That's good to hear. And yeah, hope all goes well with that, Jay. Val, what is happening? What is going on? Yes. Duck Sharks. Yeah, you got all your teams are playing. Yeah, too bad you don't have the NFL because then you have the sports equinox, which you could sometimes get September. Well, really October, because with the baseball playoffs, and then you have the Thursday night football, and when you have that sports equinox there, I get it. You could even throw that in the mix for the fans of October sports, where you could say, yeah, where else can you get a sports equinox? You're not going to get that in April. Yeah, I get it. Well, maybe to a certain extent when you have the NFL draft, maybe, kind of, sort of. Of course, I'm teasing when I say that, but I like this month in particular. You know, it comes right after celebrating a birthday. I get ready to gear up on everything that's happening, and especially for yours truly, who puts out content like this. I mean, this is arguably, at least in my estimation, it's the best sports month. So, what do you got there, J-Rod? Yeah, Tigers lost, Diamondbacks. Oh, did he really? Yeah, I did not see that. Of course, I wasn't on top of a lot of the sports. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can turn this game on. Yeah, obviously that will change today. And let's see, is this coming on yet? Yeah, something's happening with this app. I don't know what's going on. I got to reset that. But anyway, I'll get back to that in a moment. Yeah, now let's turn the attention. I'm going to start here. NBA's final 11 days. The season will conclude a week from this coming Sunday. And as I mentioned on the podcast Monday, the breakdown of both conferences, all you got to do is just worry about seeding, because you don't have to worry about teams that are on the outside looking in as far as the playing scenario. All the teams that have clinched, now they've clinched playoff spots, but they haven't clinched their seeding, depending on which team you root for or which team that you're following, et cetera. But as I take a look at that, and right now the NBA will pick up a little bit more, because as we get to the postseason and teams that are looking to jockey for position, and I've talked about this ad infinitum here over the last couple of weeks, and not to try to regurgitate that and unpack that, but you got to think, with the way the Lakers have played here down the stretch, they've been on fire, and they look like they're going to end up being a 3 seed, which means that they'll play the Rockets in the first round. And the Rockets, although kind of getting their sea legs back again after a bit of a rough stretch, but with them tied with the Timberwolves, and the T-Wolves right now at 46-29, and they have an interesting schedule too forthcoming. They actually have some tough games that lie ahead, so who knows, that could flip-flop. And even with the Nuggets, remember, those 3 teams are separated by a game and a half, Nuggets, T-Wolves, and Rockets, so that could change in a heartbeat. And then you have a significant drop-off there where the Suns have that 7 seed, 3-game lead over the Clippers, so they're going to have the home court in that 7-8 matchup against the Clippers, we would think, because the Clippers, although they're a half game ahead of the Trailblazers, but the Trailblazers can leapfrog over them to get in that 7-8 scenario. And you know how I feel about that. You would like to be in that game, because at least you have 2 chances to advance, as opposed to being the 9-10, which right now looks like it's going to be Portland or the Clippers and Golden State. We know Golden State for sure. They're not moving anywhere. And who knows what's going to happen with Steph Curry, if he's going to be healthy to play in any of these games over the course of the next week and a half heading into the postseason. I would think they're going to try to get him out there. I mean, could you imagine, this man has missed pretty much the second half of the year, and you're going to have him go play in a 9-10 do-or-die game on the road, and he's going to have to log significant minutes? To me, and at 37 years of age, that is really a tall order, even for someone like him. So, and that's not to say he won't go all out. That's not to say he's not going to give you max effort, but he's not 27. He's not 32. So do the math. It's a situation where Father Time is certainly not going to be on his side if he tries to get back here before the end of the regular season and then into the postseason. So, Val, I know you get your fingers crossed, but it looks like it's going to be tough sledding there for the Warriors as they get into the play-in scenario. And then in the East, we know about the Pistons. They're going to have the 1 locked. The Celtics have a 3-game in the loss over the Knicks, and it looks like they're going to be in good stead. And the Knicks have stumbled, bumbled, and fumbled here a little bit, losing 3 in a row into better competition. Remember, they had that 7-game winning streak when they beat up the dregs of the sport, the Pelicans and the Wizards and teams like that. And now they've lost to Charlotte, OKC, and then Houston last night. So, yeah, and Charlotte, obviously, they're a playoff team. They're 4 games over 500, despite the fact that they're right now in the 10th spot, tied with Miami. And to think they could actually get themselves even as high as the 7 seed because they're just a game and a half behind the Sixers in that regard. So, yeah, that is one jumbled mess there when you look at even from the Hawks. Now, they're separated by 3 games. The Hawks have the 5 seed going to the 10 seed Charlotte. But you would think the teams at the top of that, whether it's Atlanta, Toronto, they should be fine. Obviously, if they hit the skids and go into a losing streak, they could certainly drop back into the play-in. But it'll be interesting to see how that's going to shake down because those teams are competitive. Now, are they going to go on a run to an NBA final? We saw the Heat do that in 2023, but you got to thank Giannis's injury in that first round for them advancing or at least getting to an NBA final. But we know the Heat and what they've done here over the years, they're always in this scenario, and they'll probably make their way out of it. I'm sure they'd like to get at least 7, 8, maybe even get up to 6. About 3 weeks ago, it was Orlando and Miami that had the 5 and 6 seeds, and currently they're 8, 9. So anything can happen there, and that's pretty much going to be the only drama with the NBA down the stretch. When you look at it from that regard, where you have the 3 through 6, LA, Denver, Minnesota, Houston, Lakers, of course, and then if you are geeked up about Atlanta, Toronto, Philadelphia, Orlando, Miami, Charlotte, and how they slot when we get to, what is that, April 14th, which will be the beginning of the playing scenario. So that'd be 2 weeks from yesterday. So that's what you have at the NBA. I know that teams who have either clinched or just looking forward to clinching the home court when you're Oklahoma City, who already have 60 wins under the belt. The Spurs haven't lost. They've won 9 in a row. And they are 2.5 back of the Thunder as constituted. And the Pistons, they're going to be 1 in the East, but they're not going to get home court if they get to a final because unless both Oklahoma City and San Antonio get picked off, and that's going to be highly unlikely. But let's see where we're at here. But yeah, but that's pretty much with the NBA. I know you had some news there off the court, and we talked about this the other day. And this I'm going to get into too with the the Hall of Fame class. Yeah, the Jaden Ivey thing, I'm going to talk about that more on the podcast tomorrow. I talked about it last night. I may touch on that. I mean, listen, Ivey was a 5th overall pick, top pick, and who knows if I would think he'll resurface, but you know, obviously with his comments the other day, and again, that's something that could be a podcast unto itself. But the other thing I want to talk about real quick, and was brought up last night, which my guy Fuqua did, and that is the Hall of Fame class. We understand this day and age, it seems like everybody gets into the Hall of Fame. And how I look at the Hall of Fame, as I've said a million times, and it doesn't matter what the sport, it's all about dominance. It's all about being the elite. Yes, you could be a great player and get in the Hall of Fame. I understand that. You could be a compiler and get into the Hall of Fame. I get that too. But just because you're a compiler and consistent and maybe even very good to borderline great doesn't put you into that pantheon of the dominance and elite player. And I'll use the NBA in this instance. Amari Stoudemire, nothing against the guy. Guy's had, a very good career. Obviously had some injuries there late. Certainly if you want to look at him turning the Knicks around when they signed him in 2010, that was, of course, the famed offseason where LeBron, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, they all linked up in I was going to say Hawaii, in Miami. And a lot of people thought that LeBron was going to go to the Knicks, and there was a big hullabaloo over that. But we all know what happened there. Taking his talents to South Beach, and Amari Stoudemire again had a very good career. But when you break down his numbers overall, and I get it, there are a lot of guys in the NBA that have good numbers, not great numbers. And I'm looking at his basketball reference page now. He was ranked in the top 10 of MVP 4 times. All right, not bad, but bottom rung. 6th, 9th twice, and 10th once. Was NBA first team 1 time and 4-time All NBA second team. All right, that's pretty good. You'd rather have a bunch of first team All NBA bids under your belt, but not the case. And when you look at his numbers overall, I mean, again, no offense to Maury Stoudemire. He was a good player. I liked him as a player, especially when he first burst onto the scene there back in 2002, 2003. Won a Rookie of the Year. But his average numbers in his career are a shade less than 19 points a game. He averaged 8 rebounds, a shade below 8 rebounds a game, and didn't have many assists. 1.2 assists. So look at that. He averaged, rounded off, 19 and 8 for his career. Is that dominant? Am I crazy? And we could go through his numbers, and I know toward the back end because of the injuries and bouncing around a little bit. But yeah, listen, all right, 20 points a game. His rookie year, he was 13.5. How he got rookie of the year 13.5, but okay. 20.6, 26 points a game, 20.4, 25.2, 21.4, 23.1, 25.3. I mean, listen, he had some very good years there. But then, 17.5, 14.2, 11.9, 11.5. I mean, that's when he fell off a cliff. But I'm sorry. Where does this scream dominance? Maybe 1, 2, maybe he had 4 Hall of Fame years, and he played in the league 14 years. I'm sorry. And Doc Rivers, the same thing too. Doc Rivers played in the NBA a long time. The Hawks, the Knicks, Clippers, bounced around. And yes, he won a championship with the Celtics in 08, but he had a ton of series, whether he was a coach of the Orlando Magic, whether he was a coach of the LA Clippers, whether he was coach of the Sixers. He had 3-1 series leads in his back pockets, and his team spit the bit royally and awfully. So I don't know what to say about Doc Rivers, and I get it. Just because you win a championship, I could list a million coaches that have won championships and are not in the Hall of Fame. So, and I get he's had a long career. He's had a very good coaching career. Nobody's going to knock that. But again, we're talking about, is Doc Rivers in the same class as Red Auerbach, Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich? He is not. And I understand not everybody's winning 3, 4, 5 titles at a time. What about Chuck Daly? Chuck Daly won 2 with the Pistons, the back-to-back, and he's in the Hall of Fame. But Chuck Daly also coached the Dream Team. And that's why he's in the Hall of Fame. And I get it. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. I see now Chris Sale throws the first pitch there as we got baseball down in Atlanta underway. But, yeah, I'm a small room guy. I'm sorry. I'm not one to look at any sport. I didn't like Andrew Jones going to the Hall of Fame. I thought that was a joke. Harold Baines, let me not even unpack that. I'm the one that says Craig Biggio's not a Hall of Fame, and people look at me like, Jay Reels, you're crazy. He had 3,000 hits, but the guy was never dominant. When you play 22 years in Major League Baseball and you're a good hitter, lifetime 280, you're going to get 3,000 hits. So, yeah. Is Craig Biggio Miguel Cabrera? He is not. Is Craig Biggio Albert Pujols? He is not. And before you say, well, Jay Reels, that's a different type of player. Those guys were sluggers. Yeah, but those guys were dominant. Craig Biggio's not dominant. And again, I'm a small room guy. So that's my argument there. And let's see what the comments are. I'm curious. Dr. Cooper. Oh, Dr. Copper. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. My apologies. Let me see. Let me just scroll back up here. Bullpen in general got beat. That was a game last night you were talking about with the D-backs. Yes, Matt Chapman. Way to go, Val. I know you're excited about that. Jay blocking out was going to donate. What were we going to donate? No, look at that. Oh, unless you're kidding. Bio, we missed you last night. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Much appreciate that. Much appreciate you, of course. Who the Warriors playing in the playing tournament? Well, right now it looks like they're going to, well, they could play the Portland or the Clippers because they're separated by a half game, but they're going to be on the road. That is one thing for sure. Do I have Super Chat? What do you mean here in this feature? I do not. I don't think so. I'd have to look at that, Mark. I got to double check that. But off the top of my head, I would say no. Fishing Angel, good afternoon. Honestly, I am Darryl Strawberry. Oh, geez. Yes, 1 o'clock. He has the link from The Simpsons. I'll be quiet. That's all right. Oh, from the episode of Simpsons? The Roman Circus. Oh, here we go. Hire Lyle now. All right. Thank you. That's very kind right there. I need some mental. Yes, he definitely does. And even if that was his way to get off the team, that's certainly not the way to do it. He just could have pulled out, I want to get traded. I can't get traded now because, again, it's trade deadline is come and gone. But, hey, he's got a handful of games for the rest of the year, and then he could ask to be traded in the offseason. But, I didn't know you don't have super chats yet or supper chats. Is it super or supper? I probably do. I don't know, but I will, Mark. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mark. I need some mental support for Torian. No, not about that. No, it's definitely not about that, J-Rod. Did he need to say anything about the other? Good, probably not. No, if he's going to talk about the former, that's fine. It's after that. It's him not going to be. Yeah, it's him knocking a group of people that he needed to. He could have spared us that. So yeah. Coming to Detroit. No, I know you were an Ivy fan, so MJ over LeBron, over Shaq, over Kobe. I hear that Doc overrated. Yeah. Hey, listen, I can't disagree with you on that, Dr. Copper. And I can't disagree with you on this too. Now, you could argue if you put it in that order, MJ, LeBron, I'd probably put Kobe over Shaq. Not because of the titles, not because I just think that, and listen, we understand Shaq was dominant, but I think, would you rather have peak Kobe or peak Shaq? I would take peak Kobe. And I love Shaq. Chuck Daly, best day in the NBA ever. Yes, he did. Excellent. Excellent. Jay can't be a pro athlete and disparage people. Yeah, and double down rants everywhere. And listen, you know what's funny, Zip? He could do what he wants, say what he wants, but at the same time, does it make it right? That's the bottom line. Just because you could say it doesn't mean you could do it. Just because you could say it doesn't mean you should. And that's the thing. And it's just like I said last night. I mean, if I'm going to come out and disparage, I don't know. Not that I don't even want to use it as an example, because who knows? Somebody will probably take it and run with it, even if I use that as an example. Well, his best case in point. If I come out here and I say, oh, Marvel rules over DC. DC's trash. Superman is this. The Flash is that. Who cares about any of the DC? Then, of course, people are going to be like, oh, please, here he goes. He's now killing DC. And again, I'm just using the comic, those universes as examples. But if I'm going to come out and say that, oh, yeah, whatever, Superman will get slaughtered by the Hulk. Oh, the Hulk would slaughter Superman. Superman is this. Of course, I'm going to upset a certain amount of people, and they're just going to be all in my inbox or in my comments or whatever. And it's just like, and for what? I mean, how productive is that? It is not. Unless somebody was attacking him or offending him to the point where it's like, hey, I got to stand up for myself. That's one thing. But this was not the case in that regard. So yes, he does. Should he have said what he said about the other group? No, not in today's world. Yeah, and that's the point. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to come out and you're going to talk about, hey, my faith and Jesus, listen, I have at it. More people need the good Lord in their lives. But then again, those people that say they do, obviously they don't practice what they preach. I'm not saying that directed towards you, J-Rod. I'm just saying generally, of course. But yeah, and that's the thing. Just because you have the freedom of speech and you can exercise that doesn't mean that the things that you say are correct. Mark, okay. Cap D coming. Do you, LeBron, should be the NBA logo when he retires? No, that I would say absolutely not. In fact, there's going to be a documentary on the logo himself, Mr. Jerry West. I believe it's on Amazon Prime, which I'm looking forward to checking out. So, yeah, definitely want to check that out. But thanks, Cap. I appreciate the contribution. Jay Rich put it perfectly. Just because you say doesn't mean you have to. Yeah, and that's the thing. And listen, I'll throw this out there too. I kind of hate to use this reference, but I know the wife says it perfect. That's like me, and you guys know my age. That's like me dating someone that's like in the early 20s, and I have a 35-year gap on them. But people could tell. What's that? Oh, yes, that's true. Yeah, it says my wife yells out, I am. Yeah, because yes, wife hit around the head. I am dating someone in the 20s. But the point of the matter is that just because I could do it doesn't mean I should. Because, it's legal. She's 20. She's this, that. I mean, look at Bill Belichick and his girlfriend. I mean, again, yeah, I understand she's of age, so on and so forth, and not to go down that road, but just to prove my point as far as the freedom of speech. Just because you could do it doesn't mean you should. And there's a million other examples we could talk about, Shannon Sharp, whatever, and that's the point. So, this is my opinion. Today's world, words are more hated than actions now. Well, no, I can see that. The math don't matter. Maybe I'm just holding out of touch. Yeah, because you have the keyboard warriors. You got people that are going to come out and say things. And even though somebody's going to say something about someone, whatever. And that's the thing. You can only go based by what people are going to say. So, right, just like if I came out and said, like, oh, DC Universe is trash, or Superman is this, or Aquaman is that, or whatever, and I had this thing, and let's say that these are actual people. Yeah, there's going to be people that are going to be in my inbox, oh, look at that, he hates Superman or Aquaman, and then forget about it. I'll get sponsors pulled, I'll get people that are just going to say that, oh, he hates this group, and it's just like, for what? It's just best to keep your mouth shut, and unless you were impacted by that to the extent where, I was walking down the street and Aquaman laughed at me or whatever. Even then, you just take the high road. Like, seriously, if you're going to let the opinions of other people bother you, unless they're going to come and physically attack you, then like, why you just let it roll off your back? Let's see. That's gross. What did I do? What did I say? What did I do there? Fishing angel. What happened to sticks and stones hurt me, but words never will. Yeah, but but I mean, it's a thing where, some people have thick skin, some people don't, but not only that, it's a thing where, it's just a reflection of the person that you are. If you're going to come out and be derogatory towards certain people, that's all. Tell wife I said good afternoon. Yes. She has her headphones in. Oh, she just waved hi. Yeah, she's headphones. All right, so we know who Mark is. Okay, so we got that on the board there. All right, so let me get to real quick because I have a half hour before I introduce a couple of guests and NHL playoff chase drama. Yes, there is. And I understand this is not for everybody. I get it that you got to be into the NHL. And trust me, I'm going to try to zip through this because there's a few other things I want to get to before the top of the hour. But and this H2O people, yes, no Johnny Walker Blue. As I woke up fine today after a couple of drinks, cocktails for last night. But NHL playoff chase, it is going to be fast and furious, and my Islanders are impacted on this because they lost 2 bad games, lost to Pittsburgh there on Monday night, and then last night they lose in Buffalo. They're still in the 3 seed right now, but it's at the slimmest of margins. It's a logjam there, both the East and the West, where we know what's happening with the division leaders. And it's interesting, even with Buffalo winning yesterday, I believe they've overtaken Tampa, unless Tampa won last night. I know they did overtake them. They have 100 points, and they currently are tied with Carolina for the most points in the conference, which means a 1 seed. But then you have Tampa with 98, Montreal 96, but the wild card is what's even more fascinating because even with the Islanders losing and then the Penguins beating Detroit last night, they have a 3-point lead over the Islanders for that 2nd seed. And although the Islanders have the 3rd seed currently, but Columbus, who right now has the 2 seed, the 2nd seed in the wild card, but they're literally a point behind the Islanders. So if they win their next game, they will have the 3 seed where the Islanders will fall back to the wild card. And then you have Ottawa, Detroit, Philadelphia would be 3 points. They're 2 points currently behind the Blue Jackets, but they all have 86, and the Capitals have 85. And Ovechkin, he scored another 30. What has he had? 30 goals this year, the 20th season he's done that. I mean, the guy is just indestructible. at 40 years of age too on top of that. But the teams that right now are looking, what do you have? 5 teams are separated by 1 point. And if you want to throw the Islanders, or excuse me, by 2 points. And if you want to throw the Islanders in the mix there too, as far as because they're a point ahead of the Blue Jackets, you could certainly do that. And nobody's going to catch the Hurricanes in the division. So figure whomever Pittsburgh or the Islanders play, if they're the 2 seed, they'll have the home ice. And then out west, Colorado, they're going to have the President's Trophy, which more of a curse than a blessing, followed by the Stars, then the Wild. But the wild card is where it's at, where Utah, 5 points ahead of Nashville. All right, fine. It looked like they have enough breathing room with 8 games to go. But then now you have Nashville with the second wild card. Kings, Winnipeg Jets, 76 points, 1 point behind Nashville. San Jose, Seattle, 4 points behind Nashville at 75. And then you got to throw in the Blues there, where they are 4 points behind. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams for 1 spot for the wild card out west, and 5 teams for 1 spot. And you want to throw in the Islanders, 6 teams for 1 spot there in the East. So it's interesting. If this was Major League Baseball, everybody would be under watchful eye to see how this is all going to unfold. But because it's hockey, it's a niche sport. It's not really, if you're a good sports fan or a great sports fan, you're into it. If you're obviously a hockey fan, you're into it. But for the casual or even sometimes a good sports fan, they couldn't even name 5 hockey players in the sport. They're probably going to say, oh, is Wayne Gretzky still playing? And we all know he had exited stage right a long time ago. In fact, 1999. He was a member of the Rangers. So that's what you have with the NHL. And besides that, I know you had Ovechkin with that milestone. How about the fight last night? The goalie fight. Did you see that? Jacob Markstrom and Igor Shesterkin, Rangers Devils, where there was a scrum. One of the players had, from the Devils, hit Shesterkin. He came around the net, started poking at him, as I'm knocking my phone over here, started poking at him. And then the next thing you know, Markham comes out of his net and skates across the length of the ice. Now, listen, it's a Swede versus a Russian player. I'll take it. Any fight in the NHL right now, but we all know this was far from Felix Potvin and Ron Hextall, as I've talked about a million times. So, but still, it was good to see a goalie fight. I'm not one of those to be like, oh, this is terrible. Oh, it's a black eye for the sport. They're nonsense. They don't know what they're talking about. So, and then, you also had that other fight last night in the Island game where Sam Carrick, who was on the Rangers, injured his left arm. Now, not because of anything that Andrews Lee, the captain of the Islanders, did, but I know it looked like he had a shoulder injury, but now I'm reading it here. His left arm was injured in a fight. Who knows? It's still being evaluated, but you have that going on if you're Buffalo, especially a guy who's going to bring some toughness in Sam Carrick. So you got that going on. But that is your NHL. All right, let's see what we got here with the comments. Yes, reincarnated, but without the, Oh, that's gross. That's what you're referring to. Yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm not. Yeah, I listen. I get it. You could do it. Of course, not you per se, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. And Luka, he's had a monster month. He's going to be up there. I mean, I think it's going to be between he and SGA. I don't know. You could probably throw in Jokic too, but I don't think he's going to have enough traction. And he's won 3 MVPs. I think earlier this season you could say that he probably would have been a candidate. I think he's going to end up being top 5. But between SGA, Luka, I know Jaylen Brown. Yeah, that's as though he's still played great, but I don't think he's going to get consideration. But he's not going to win it. It could be between Luka and SGA. So I know what Super Chats are. It's on YouTube where you could donate. Yes. In fact, I know I haven't qualified for that just yet. Yeah, I thought when you said that, Mark, and my apologies. And listen, if you're going to donate, I mean, that's another thing that I'm working on too, to see if I could do this for the live streams for those who, of course, do want to do that. And I would appreciate that for when that time comes. Yeah, I didn't realize, because I'm thinking that the platform that I'm using to broadcast onto YouTube, I thought you were referring to that. So, Mark, I appreciate that, and I thank you. But, Yeah, that will be in the days and weeks to come. That I promise. But I was Jalen Duran, at least in that conversation MVP. I know we talked about that the other day. Oh, Canucks are awful. Red Wings are cooked. I don't know if they're cooked just yet, but I know they haven't. They've hit the skids for sure there, Jay. Shohei, 22 and 2/3 scoreless inning. Yeah. I'm sure he's going to gun for that Cy Young this year. George McPhee, the recipient. Yeah, George McPhee was a very scrappy player. Rangers, tough guy. Yeah, I got to give it up. Good for him. Vegas Golden Knights, yes. No, oh, you didn't see that there, Fishing Angel? Oh, here we go. Falcon sign. Darnay Holmes. Sharks, will they make the playoffs? Yeah, we looked at their schedule, right? Their playoffs. It's going to be tough. Let me look at their schedule again. I'll tell you, Val. Yeah, right now, with them being, 2 points out? San Jose, I know the Kraken. That's a logjam. All right, so they play the Ducks tonight at home. Not going to be easy. Ducks, of course, in first place in the Pacific. Then you got Toronto, Nashville. That's a must-win because obviously they're the team that's in that second spot. Then Chicago, Edmonton, not going to be easy. All those games are at home. And then you got to go to Anaheim, Vancouver, Nashville again. And your last 2 games are Chicago, Winnipeg. Now, your schedule isn't terrible, but you got the 2 games against Nashville, which are musts. You have to win those games. And 2 games against Anaheim, which are not going to be easy. And Anaheim's how many points ahead of the Oilers right now? Yeah, because they're going to want to try to win out to get that. They're only 2 points ahead of Edmonton. So, yeah, they're going to play those games as if they're playoff games because they want to get that. In essence, they'll get the 2 seed in the conference because they don't reseed. It's not as if the Dallas Stars or the Minnesota Wild will have an advantage because they'll have more points than Anaheim when it's all said and done to where Anaheim will be like a 4 or 5 seed. No, they'll have a 2 seed. So, and they'll be playing the team that has the first wild card, which right now is Utah. So, yeah, those games are going to be tough. Like I said, the schedule's not terrible. To me, they have to win those Nashville games. So after what week is that? And they play them in Nashville. Monday, April 13th. So that's the third to the final game. Let me see where they're at then because they'll have Chicago and Winnipeg. If they lose both games to Nashville, I think they'll be cooked. They have to win both of those games. So, and at least the one thing that you got going for you, Val, is that you control your own destiny. And I guess you could say that for St. Louis and for Seattle and all that, of course. I mean, if you run the table. But from a standpoint of you have Nashville, I could see if you didn't play them again, where that could be trouble. But if you're within striking distance, let's say you lose tonight, but you beat Toronto and you're still 2 points back. I'll look at Nashville's schedule. If you're still 2 points back, yeah, you're going to need to win that game. Let's see who Nashville has. All right, at LA. Oh, wow, look at this trip. They are at LA, San Jose, at LA again, at Anaheim, at Utah, and then they finish up at home, Minnesota, San Jose, Anaheim. That is a brutal schedule. LA is going to play for their lives. That's 2 games there. Anaheim, as I just talked about, 2 games there. Utah, who has the first wild card. Minnesota has 94 points and is third in the Central. Twice against your team. I mean, your schedule is a cakewalk compared to what Nashville has. And funny enough, did I pick Nashville as an under this year? Let me look at that real quick. I did at 86.5. And that's going to be the one I'm going to lose because all the other, my over-under win totals this year, Anaheim 84.5, they have 87. Carolina 105.5, they're at 100 right now. So they're going to win 3 more games, you would think. Dallas 103.5. I think they're at 100 right now. Florida under 105.5. That was a place. I saw that coming from last year after they won the Cup. In fact, I take that back. Though I do have one loss right now. San Jose, I did pick San Jose, Val. And that was after a slow start, so they rebounded. So they made me look foolish. That is a loss. But Nashville, I could go 5-1 or 4-2. Rather go 5-1. And Nashville right now, what do they have? 77 points. They need 9 points. And with that schedule, who knows? It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. All right, so, but you know what? I'm going to say that they don't make it, Val, because they got to leapfrog a lot of teams, and I got to look at all the other, all the other teams that are in the mix. The goalie fight was awesome. Yes, it was. That was really good. Mirjana, welcome. There's another Mirjana that we know. Shout out to Vladislav in Serbia. I have not heard from him either. I'm hoping all is well. Hoping all is well with his mom. So when I see that name, Mirjana, will the Caps make the playoffs? I'm going to say no, Mirjana. And I haven't looked at this schedule. I could take a peek at it. Because although they're 5 points back, but they got to leapfrog all those teams. They got to leapfrog Ottawa, Detroit, Philadelphia, Columbus, and let's look at the Caps. I don't know. The Caps play the Islanders again, and the Rangers again, I believe, on the road. Let's take a look. Cap schedule. All right, here we go. All right, so they're at the Devils tomorrow. Buffalo, at New York. Oh, I said the Islanders. I meant the Rangers. At New York, Rangers. At Toronto, home and home against Pittsburgh and at Columbus. Yeah, that looks like a no-go. Now, they could beat Jersey. I know on the road, Buffalo's going to be tough. Rangers, Toronto, they need to win both of those games. Pittsburgh, I mean, even if they split and they got to win it in Columbus, I'm going to say no right now. And listen, I'd like to see the Capitals in. You want to see Ovechkin. You want to see him perform here. But, yeah, it's looking unlikely there, Marjana, I have to say. Let's see. Yes, that goalie fight was awesome, Bio. I did enjoy it. Anytime you have the goalies going at it, it's always a good thing. But, you know, there's going to be people that frown upon it. The Final Four. Oh, yeah. No, that's been going on for years. They need to bring it back to CBS. And the reason why they did that is because when they bought the package, and I don't know how long that is. I'd have to look at that, the media rights. They wanted the games on TBS and TNT. Why? Because who watches TBS and TNT? Nobody. I mean, they don't have the NBA. I think they've been doing this at least 7-8 years, maybe a decade. But yeah, I can't stand it. I don't like it at all. Anytime it's a hockey game and there's a fight, that's the best. Yes, it is. Yeah, speaking my language there. Fishing Angel, Fifth and Pacific. Oh, yeah. Well, and you know, Amari Stoudemire is not a Hall of Famer. I mean, come on. Yeah, it's going to be a big game there, Val. Let's see if they can pull it off. All right, let me get to the next thing here because I got 17 minutes before I introduce my guests. Let me see. Where's my banners? All right, quickly with the MLB. Right now, I'm watching Chris Sale strike out a ton of people here as they're going to middle of the second, no score. Yeah, Mets will be on in a half hour, so I'll tune in then. But this opening week, and I kind of need to bring this up, and it's funny because the NFL, they're going to have these replacement refs, which I could talk about on tomorrow's podcast. I know I talked about it a little bit last night, which was brought up on the live, but this thing with the ABS, they're making these umpires look awful, and especially CB Buckner. And what was CB Buckner? Did you see that play yesterday in the Tampa-Milwaukee game? I mean, was he high? And listen, it's funny because now people will say, oh, my God, look, he said something about CB Buckner. Well, I said that it was he's high, and I'm not trying to imply that he was smoking on the job, but come on, like, how did he – there was a play where the ground ball to second, and it was thrown over to first, but what happened was I think the ball, it got away, and I don't have my connection here. I would pull it up. But anyway, CB Buckner called the guy out at first because he didn't touch first base, but he clearly touched first base. And then he stole second and got in on an RBI single. But it's just like, what was he? Did he like zone out? I mean, what happened? I just thought it was terrible. But I get it. It's going to make these umpires look more than human. But this is why they have the ABS in there. I think the Yankees the other day, weren't they 5 for 5 in ABS challenges? And that's the thing. People are going to say, wait a minute, I think you thought you only get 2 challenges. Well, you get 2 challenges, but if you lose a challenge, that's where you get the other one, you'll lose that one. So, yeah, but if you keep, that's the thing. And the good thing about it is it's only 10, 15 seconds. It's not like these umpires got to go under the hood like the NFL, and it's going to take 45 minutes for them to determine whether or not a player was out of bounds or caught the ball inbounds or was it a catch, things of that nature. So, but to me, that's been the big thing this opening week. And I understand you haven't had a lot of instances, but I know CB Buckner behind the plate, I think he missed like 5 balls and strikes. Just atrocious. And you know what? I don't care. I think the ABS is good. They need it because when you get right down to it, a lot of these games, when it comes down to that pitch, especially late in the game, to have that, it's imperative. And I never thought I'd see the day where I would even be in favor of it. You know me, Mr. Traditionalist, by the book, but this is the way we live. And look, and they're even Athletics challenge a ball. I guess Severino, they're just watching it. It was high. I guess they so they lose a challenge there. And the count is 2-0. They thought it was a strike. Ozzy Albies up, no score, A's and A's and Braves, because the A's are the Athletics. But with the first week coming to a conclusion, of course, you got a ton of games here today, which looking forward to. Obviously, there's nothing like afternoon baseball, especially midweek. So I love it. And as a matter of fact, so the Mets rain delay. Top of the first, that game started at 1:15. All right, well, I guess I'm going to have to get off that. Maybe I'll check out Texas and Baltimore. Is Jake pitching? Isn't the ground pitching today? I thought I sworn I saw that. Because he got his start pushed back a few days ago. But other than that, let's see. Baseball. Listen, am I going to get into like these records? I know the Yankee pitching staff, I hate to say this, but they've given up 3 runs in 5 games. And they've pitched 3 shutouts. And Max Fried has been unhittable. I got to give credit. But again, we're just starting April. So I was talking with a Yankee fan earlier this morning, someone I've known over 40 years. In fact, I've known him almost 50 years, which is crazy. We were going back and forth, and I told him, I said, hey, when you get Cole and Rodon back, your rotation is going to be deep. Now, I can't trust Rodon as far as I can throw him. And Garrett Cole, is he going to be back to anything close to what he was prior to? Which I think he will. But right out of the gate, he's going to be treated with kid gloves, but their rotation is going to be stacked. And because of the days off that they've had, remember, they had the day off on Tuesday. The day off on Thursday after the opener, Wednesday in San Francisco. They had the day off Sunday between series of the Giants and now the Mariners, and then have a day off tomorrow so they could spread out their rotation to the point where they can have a lot of rest and don't have to worry about having to go every 5th day with their starters. And listen, they've been tremendous. I can't say anything. But again, it's only 5 games. They're 4-1, but they've gone off to a tremendous start. And besides that, everything is pretty much where it's at. There hasn't been any major surprises in my eyes. Blue Jays 4-1. Now, maybe the Red Sox on the losing end. I'm thinking when surprises, I'm thinking of teams that have actually overachieved in this first week. Yeah, you can say the Marlins too. They're 4-1. They're going to play the White Sox in an afternoon game today. And, of course, I picked them as an over, so I'm going to be watching them all year. But the Red Sox 1-4 is a surprise. Yeah, Tigers 2-3. Yeah, maybe we could say them a little bit. Astros, I picked them as an under, too. And I remember I picked them as an under a few years ago, so it's a little dangerous. But, other than that, Phillies 2-3. They were 1-4, I'd say. Padres 1-4. No, I can't say I'm surprised. But, that's what you got there with the baseball as we move it along. And, of course, a lot of this, I'll try not to rehash too much of this tomorrow, come with different angles, different topics, etc. Let's see. Yeah, Skeens is pitching today and says he's got staked to a 3-0 lead. here, top of the first, which is interesting because remember last week at Citi Field, he had a 2-0 lead going into the bottom of the first, and that inning imploded on him to where he got yanked 2/3 of an inning. So we'll take a look at Skeens here today, especially while we're on the air. But yeah, that's what I got with the baseball. Yeah, the NFL talk I'm not going to get into with the replacement refs and all that. I think there's a couple of replay changes that I've seen, but yeah, I'm not wrapped up in the NFL right now. A couple of weeks when it comes to the draft, I'll do that. So we got that cooking. But let me get to a couple other quickies, and I'll get to the comments too. Early Final Four thoughts. To me, this is a layup. The Arizona-Michigan game is going to be Armageddon. I mean, I wish that was a championship game. And in essence, that could be the de facto championship game. But we understand on the other side of the bracket, you have Illinois, who their young guard has been playing phenomenal. But you also have UConn and their grit, their championship DNA. And listen, I'm going to root for Illinois hard. I can't stand UConn. I'm not in love with Hurley. I got to give it up. Hurley's been a great coach, and he's done a masterful job with this team. But I think if you're college basketball, you want to see UConn in that final. You don't want to see Illinois. I get that. I'd rather see them because I just don't want to see UConn. I've seen them win enough throughout my lifetime. A big supporter of the Big East in Georgetown. Whether it's Jim Calhoun winning 3, whether it's even Kevin Ollie the 1 year with Shabazz Napier. There's a name for you, Mark Salmons. And obviously the 2 here with Hurley. Not in the league. I do not want to see them win, but I think, and even if they do win, I don't think they're going to, whomever wins that Arizona-Michigan games, they're going to win a national championship. And I'll talk more about my predictions, what I think about that Michigan-Arizona game, because I'm going to dissect big time. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, those are like the early, to me, UConn getting back to a final, Illinois, can they get to a national championship game, and then Arizona, Michigan is just, I mean, come on, it's Clash of the Titans. So those are some of the early storylines, and I'll unpack that as well tomorrow. All right, now 2 other quickies I want to get to. I didn't talk about this on the podcast or even on any of my channels, but I'm going to mention this now because with the Masters a week from tomorrow, and obviously he's not going to be in the Masters. He's not going to perform there, but yeah, Tiger, what was he doing on his phone driving? Like, can we start there? And I understand he had some pain medication, and I get it, he's got issues, and he's probably addicted to pain relievers. We know about the surgeries. We know about the ailments. We know everything. I mean, come on, Father Time. And listen, you cannot knock Tiger for what he's done on the course throughout the course of his career. We know about what happened 7 years ago, 2019, winning the Masters. Nobody saw that coming, where he won at Augusta to get his 15th major, and it would have been a long time. Think about that. That was April of 2019, and prior to that, the last major he won was the U.S. Open. I think it was Torrey Pines. It wasn't at Pebble Beach. I think it was Torrey Pines where he beat Rocco Mediate in a playoff. And everybody thought he was going to surpass Jack Nicklaus all time as far as majors go, and he had that big drought, kind of similar to Rory McIlroy finally getting his Masters. That was the last one he needed for his career slam, but he hadn't won a Grand Slam tournament or one of the 4 majors since 2014. So now you have Tiger, where he's 50 years old. His body's betrayed him. A lot of that self-inflicted. And, you know, with these car accidents, the one in California where he almost had to have his leg amputated. Then you have this scenario where they said he was under the influence, not for alcohol. All right, maybe it was pain meds, but then he's also on his phone. What are you doing on your phone while you're trying to drive? Where I believe what he did, he clip a garbage truck and his car spin. I mean, it's just a disaster. And here's a guy that's worth over $1 billion. And I understand he has a car, he's going to drive, and he has every right to do that. But now it's at a point where it's hire a driver. And I understand he's going to seek treatment, and good for him. He's going to need it. And I understand he also came out with the whole situation regarding, oh, well, I don't want to hire a driver because I want my privacy. Sorry, that got lost a long time ago. And I'm sure he could vet whoever he wants to vet to be his personal driver, to the point where not only for him, maybe even his kids for that matter, where he doesn't have to go pick them up if he does pick them up at the high school, because Charlie's got to be in high school now, and his daughter's got to be, if not a senior, maybe just graduated by now. I don't even know. But yeah, I mean, please, why even bother? Yeah, I mean, he could find somebody, he could hire him and trust or whatever, or build that trust and say, all right, you're my guy, you're my driver. Wherever I go, you got to take me here, take me there. I'm going to a gala here. And I get it that if he's in California or if he's on the other side of the world, bring your driver with you, rent a car or whatever. He's got enough money. Hey, please, he wants to hire me as a driver. I'm your guy. Please, Tiger, I got you. I understand. Can't ask him any questions about his life, about his career as a independent sports media personality. But listen, you need a driver? I'm your guy. But I have to do my podcast. If you want, I'll sign a non-disclosure agreement to not say anything about whatever it is. I get it. But Tiger, I just listen. I hope I wish him well. But the thing is, he brought this upon himself. And I mean, that's all I can say about that. All right, I got 5 minutes. I want to bring this up too, and I'll get to the comments here before I introduce my guests, which are coming up. I'm bringing this up because we are now a little less than 2.5 months from the World Cup. And when I saw that this team did not qualify again, now listen, if the Italian soccer team knocked on my door and walked in there with their uniforms, I'd be like, oh, wait, yeah, this could be the Italian national team, but I couldn't pick those guys out of a lineup. So it's a situation where I couldn't tell you one guy from the next. But to think that this country that has produced 4 World Cup champions, a decorated history, to go along with the likes of England and Germany and France and the teams that, of course, or the teams that play overseas, how this team has not qualified for a 3rd World Cup? What's going on there? And I understand the Italians, and this is based on part watching, but more so from a source that I could truly trust. I know that the Italian teams of the past, crybabies, and I believe didn't they win the World Cup in 2006? I think it was the last time they won. Maybe it was 2002. I think it was 2006, though. I got to look that up. But anyway, with that being said, I mean, it is a team that's a powerhouse, or at least was a powerhouse. What they've done the last 3 World Cups, I don't know. They might as well have me on the team at this point. But yeah, to know that they're not qualifying again, that is a disgrace. And I don't know what's going on there. But listen, if you're wondering, hey, where's Italy? Are they going to be playing in the World Cup? They are not. And they haven't been now for 12 years and counting, which is disgraceful when you think about it. So that's what you got there with the World Cup. And yes, before I get to my guests, let me get to the comments here. Let me, in fact, change this. I know the Mets in the rain out. Let's go to, let's see. So I go Phillies Nationals? No, let's go. No, let's go Marlins. What the hell? I'll get the feel from South Florida. Oh, it's the White Sox feed? All right. Yeah, let me see the comments here. Stand by. Let's see. And then I'll get to my guests as I'll introduce them. Here on an April Fool's Day, standings. Hall of Fame lower than their standards from bio, of course. Yes, they are terribly. Buckner at this point is under the microscope. He is definitely that. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, buts about it. And he was a terrible ump before all this, and now it's just even. Ugh. And just the thing, they cannot. And I know that I've read that they're going to start training replacement refs here starting May 1st. If that's the case, start doing it now if you don't think you're going to come to an agreement. But the first Fail Mary that we saw there in 2011, the first disaster of any egregious call and non-call, especially for those that gamble, we know the NFL, forget about it. They're swimming in shark-infested waters if they're thinking that replacement refs are going to be the cure to all their ills. I'm just going to stop right there. I mean, because that is just Did you see the new rule that the booth ref could overrule a call? No, you know what? I did not see that. I was reading some of that, but I didn't see that. But you know what? Hey, if they get it right, that's the bottom line. So you know what? I'm for it. 100%. That's what Terry McCauley did to the Rams Seahawks 2-point conversion. Yes. I know. That was a weird play too, man. Oh, man, was that weird. El Nasty, what's up, my man? Thoughts on the Angels? For them, they're off to a good start, but I don't see it being sustainable, though. And listen, I would like for them to be good. I would like for them to be in the thick of things, dare I even say, by the 4th of July. And I got nothing against them. Listen, Kurt Suzuki, signed a 1-year deal, which was a joke, but that's more on their ownership. And Perry Manasian, their GM, who's also a lame duck. Yeah. So I'm for it. I hope they play well, but I don't think they're gonna have a big year though. I'm sorry, El Nasty. I'm just being honest. Will Smith Player of the Year. All right. Oh, don't like Tiger Woods. Oh, I guess we could talk about that in a couple of minutes. Glad he's the Player of the Month. Almost recovered. That's right. You're feeling better there, Val? I'm glad to hear that. That's good. And Artie Moreno ruined the team on purpose. Yeah, I know. He's they got to get him out of there. All right. So with that being said, let me introduce my guests. I'm adding them to the stage. Of course, you know them well. Wait, let me get this comment off bio. Thank you for that. Yeah, Artie Moreno. Yeah, let me add to the stage, and I got to maximize the screen because I know I have a bad job doing that sometimes. But this has been a long time coming. You've seen him here before, but not without his other half. And I figured today is a good day, not because it's April Fool's Day by any means, not that, because these two are far from fools and you know them very well. But now, here they are. Let me maximize. Hold on one second. Boom. J-Ron and Fishing Angel.
Hello.
What is happening?
What's
going on?
How are you?
Oh, fantastic. And even more fantastic that you guys hop on board today. So it's good to see you both. And J-Rod's wearing the famous hat.
It is.
Oh, is that right? Well, one thing, I don't know if you could hear, if you hear my voice in the background, you may want to mute or just lower the TV because I hear you fine. I'm not hearing any reverberation.
No, the
feedback.
TV is definitely behind.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be behind because obviously it's being streamed. If this was being streamed through YouTube, it'd probably be on point. But if it's a second or two behind, it's because I'm doing it through the StreamYard platform. So, but
oh yeah, it's
yes.
100% at least a minute or so behind.
Oh, it's more than that. All right. So let's see. What do we got here?
I just turned it down.
All right, yeah, no problem. So yes, there you go with the maize and blue. I know you guys are waiting for the game on Saturday. And in fact, first things first, I know that the women's team lost the other day to Texas. And to think
Women
you
got
had a situation against Texas, right? Because I know that they played the Longhorns.
Yeah. I think they lost by like 37.
Yeah, I know. And I was rooting for them because I wanted to obviously see the men's, just like you did, the men's and the women's play in the Final Four. But then I also know that the Michigan hockey team is in the Frozen Four. So could you imagine you would have had 3 teams in the Final Four coming out of the state of Michigan? That would have been, forget about it. I'm sure you would have been over the moon with that.
That would have been.
Oh, 100%. Out of all of them, though, Michigan hockey got kind of a crappy draw. I don't know if you follow college hockey that much, but the Denver goalie has not lost yet this season once.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the Final Four I know is Denver, North Dakota, you guys, and Wisconsin, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep,
I'm not following it
in the Frozen Four.
Yeah, I'm not on top of it as far as I didn't know the Denver goalie.
He is 14-0-1 this season.
Wow. And when is I don't even know when
freshman. Believe it or not.
Is that right? What's his name?
Do you know? I couldn't tell you that.
All right, I'll look it up.
I have no clue.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll look it up if anything. So that's not a problem. But
yeah, I just remember seeing it when we watched the previous round the other day. They were saying, that he hasn't lost yet this season.
Wow. All right, well, hey, who knows? Maybe it's time for him to get his first loss.
Yeah, if Denver does win the national championship, he'll be, I think they said it would be the first undefeated goalie to go, a whole season and play X amount of games without losing.
Really? All right, now let me look this guy up. Who's the Denver? I know it's Denver University. It's not Denver University goalie. All right, so yeah, as I looked that up, his name is Johnny Hicks.
Yep. There you go. I remember now. As soon as you said it, Hicks. Yep.
All right, so that's gonna be a name to look out for, especially if they win the whole thing, or who knows, watch them lose, and he goes from.
Well, do you even know the qualifications to get drafted in college hockey? You got to play 1 year or 3 or 4 or I have no clue.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know that either. I would think with college hockey, you could because think about it, when players get drafted out of junior, they go straight to the league, even though I know what's his name? Gavin McKenna, the guy who's probably going to be the number 1 pick this year. He's at Penn State. Yeah, can he go back to college? I mean, that's to me, I would think that once you get drafted by the league, and if you make the team, obviously you're with the pro team, but if you get sent down, I guess you have the option to go to college. But yeah, I don't know if it's 1 year, 2 years. Obviously, the NFL's 3 years, but yeah, I'm not too familiar with how that works.
I've always wondered how that worked, because they're like Michigan's hockey team has Red Wing, draft picks on it. So like,
Right.
what happens if the Red Wings need their service? Like, that don't make sense to me,
Yeah. No, it's weird. Yeah, I don't know the ins and outs. You know what? And that's a good thing, J-Rock, because I know we talked about that the other day. And if anything, I could brush get familiar with that and how that situation works, because yeah, I couldn't even tell you.
Especially right now, the Red Wings are falling apart, and we have some good draft picks at Michigan right now. Like what would happen right now if the Red Wings say, "Hey, we want you right now on the Wings for this playoff push"? Like, can they choose to go to the Red Wings or stay at Michigan, or how does that work? I have no clue.
No, and that's a good point. And considering that they're in the middle of this Frozen Four, I'm sure that the players that are on the Michigan hockey team, they don't want to leave just yet. I mean, although I'm sure
exactly like you just said, both of them are in meaning positions. So, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got to check that out and see for myself to see what the.
And I think Arizona, Michigan's going to stop them. I'm sorry. Michigan is going to annihilate the hell out of Arizona.
No.
All right. So I'm going to
differ.
All right. So wait, we're going to talk about that. But this is what I need to know from Fishing Angel, because I know I can already picture it in my head. Fishing Angel, what's going to be the final score?
112 to 26.
She's 112 to 26. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say 95.
Okay.
To 25.
Oh, all right.
See, I was close.
Yeah, not bad. Well, I know you said 112, so what you gave him, that was what? Yeah, if I do my math correctly, that was a 95-point win, but this one's only a 70-point win. So yeah, so 95-25. Okay.
Yeah.
But J-Rod, you beg to differ here. I'm curious why.
Arizona is the team, man. The only thing that I can see that Michigan has an advantage is our experience. Michigan's experience against Arizona's freshmen. It's the only thing I see Michigan has an advantage in, because both teams are huge. Both teams are athletic, and both teams can score. Arizona does have them, droughts where they have trouble scoring, but Michigan does too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think to me, it's almost going to be, if I equate this to football, it's going to be a game of the trenches. I mean, obviously, it's going to be about the rebounds. It's going to be about the 50-50 balls. Who's going to want it more? And obviously, who's going to make big shots and big moments. But to me,
how the game is called, too, is a big, if in my mind, because if Arizona's big start getting in foul trouble, Arizona's in trouble.
Yes.
Michigan starts getting in foul trouble. We got players that can come off the bench and, hold it down for, 5-6 minutes if they have to.
Right.
And
to me, I wish that would have been a national championship, because that would have really been theater. And it's going to be theater Saturday night. But at the same time, whoever's going to win that game, I think they're going to annihilate UConn or Illinois. So
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Yaxel is a man on a mission, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, he's been all year. He's been tremendous. And
the Purdue game and the Big Ten championship or Big Ten tournament, push that button in Yaxel and just, showed him what he needed to do. And he's been doing it ever since.
It all depends on the refs, because we've had some shady ass refs lately, and they've been calling some shady ass plays.
Yeah. And I'll be watching, and hopefully they won't be. Hopefully they call it like they see it, that there's not going to be any ticky-tack or phantom fouls.
Nice.
It's been like that pretty much every game, though, the tournament. Like the start of the Tennessee game, they were letting them play physical as hell. And then, maybe 9 minutes into the game, like you said, they started calling little ticky-tack things. And, Mara got 2 or 3 real quick within 5 or 6 minutes or something stupid. Morez Johnson got 2 within 5 or 6 minutes. So who knows? Who knows?
No, it's going to be fascinating. And Yeah, and I'm curious. So, what is the shirt that you're wearing there, Fishing Angel?
Actually, my sister-in-law made it. It is Ghostface in the front, and it has angel wings in the back, and it has my real name on the back. Would you like to see?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, look at the ghost face. Wow, that's pretty cool. Darcy and Angels. Oh, that's really nice. I like that, custom made. And it's so funny because now that brings me back to a few weeks ago when we were on one of the lives, and Miles was in the room, and he was, what was he? I guess he was, his name that day was Ghostface, and he was trying to do the whole horror trivia and all that. So just to see that brought me back to that live stream that we had a few weeks ago. So, but no, that's very nice. I like the colors, the blue. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. She does a really good job. She does anything that you want. She'll take care of it for you.
Oh, very good. No, that's awesome. All right. So now obviously so you think when it's all said and done there, Jay, the game Saturday night, I know you obviously you're going to root for Michigan, but I know you're very objective. Do you think that they are going to win, or what are your thoughts?
Hell yeah, I think they're going to win.
That's good.
Michigan.
No, because when I heard you say I beg to differ, I understand it's not going to be 95-25, but I thought maybe you were going to say like, oh, it's going to be tough. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. Because you know me, I mean, I'm going to say, hey, if it's
of
Mets,
course
Yankees,
it's going to be tough. And to be completely honest with you, I was very extremely nervous about Tennessee. You know, Tennessee is again a big athletic, team, but again, the freshmen that pushed Tennessee all season did not show up. They stunk in that game.
Yeah.
And that's why they lost by 30 plus points. So, Michigan comes out and plays the D like they've been playing. I think Arizona's in trouble. Is it going to be a 20, 30 point victory? Absolutely not.
No, definitely not.
Michigan's going to win.
I'm going to say like 94, 95 Michigan to 88, 89 Arizona.
We'll see who's right.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I think the first to 90 is going to win. I mean, 90 may be a bit too high. I think the first to 80. So even if they get into the 90s, because listen,
don't get me wrong. I'd like to see it over in the first 11 minutes of the game. It would save my heart, but
no, absolutely.
Unfortunately, I don't see that happening in this one. The national championship game, I do believe either against Illinois or UConn could be a destruction.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. And here's the other thing too, which I didn't bring up. I was going to bring up tomorrow, and I'll bring it up again tomorrow. So I'm going to regurgitate it for everybody that's on. I'll get to the comments too in a second. Knowing that you have the second game, because the first game, of course, is Illinois UConn, and with that, the game starting, I guess 9 something local time. What if that is an all out
59?
Yeah. Oh,
so,
right.
You're right.
Exactly.
It won't start till about 9 o'clock.
Exactly. But what if that game goes 2.5 hours, maybe even overtime? It is literally a bloodbath, a rock fight, whatever. And then they got to turn around like 40 hours later where the winner of UConn, Illinois, they're going to be tucked in the bed. They're going to be resting peacefully, where you guys, who knows, if it's 91-89 Michigan and you're playing until past midnight and your body's sore and whatever, and they're young kids, I get it. But do you think that could be an issue for them moving forward if they were to win a game like that, knowing that they could come out flat in the championship game?
No,
I mean, anything's possible. Anything's possible, but no, I don't. Michigan's experience is, the key in my mind.
The thing about Michigan is they stand strong. They're never going to back down. They're always going to whoop ass when it comes to basketball, hockey, anything. They're going to whoop ass. As
we've seen in the UConn Duke game, there's not one player on Michigan that is about me. It's about the team, not me.
Well, 100%. No, that I totally agree. And the funny thing is that you have a guy who's an All-American in Yaxel, Landerborg, and it's a thing where you would think, oh, well, this is my team. No, they play as a unit.
We've talked about that before too. If Landenborg wanted to, he could easily average 25 points, 5 rebounds and 5 assists a game. Easy.
Yes.
But like, I just said, that's not this Michigan team. It's not about I and where I'm going to get draft picked and how much money I'm going to put in my pocket. It's about we and cutting down the nets in Indy.
Yep. No, and that's the one thing you got to like about Michigan in that regard. And, same to Arizona, too, because it's not as if they have a guy that's going to, puff their chest out and be like, yeah, I'm the big man on campus. I'm the AJ DeBonso or the Darius Acuff. And that's why that game was going to be tremendous there Saturday night.
Well, that's why I thought last year Michigan did have a chance, to win a national championship. There was too much eye on the team,
No, absolutely. Here we go. This bio is a comment. JR Fishing Angel, I thought you guys would come on and say you switched to Michigan State fans for April Fool's Day.
No way. No way, Michigan State.
Even on April Fool's, I can't do that, Bio.
Yeah, that's like me coming out saying, well, you know what, guys? I'm sick of being the Met fan. I'm a Yankee fan today, or for the rest of my life. You guys will be like, oh, stop it. So
the only two green things I like in my life is money, and one of them is smoke.
Hey, there you go. That's it. Nothing wrong with that. All right, let's see.
Actually, my nephew just got accepted full scholarship to Michigan State.
Oh, really? For is he an athlete?
No. He's nursing school.
Oh, good for him. Wow,
Yep.
Nice. Oh, congratulations. Oh, good stuff, man. That's awesome.
We just had Easter gathering thing, and my cousin was telling me that he got full scholarship and accepted the other day, which is pretty cool. Can't knock him for that, but
no, absolutely.
He picked the wrong school.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm sure across the dinner table, you're going to look at him like, all right, well, congratulations. But at the same time, you could have.
If you're going for nursing, man, I can't lie, sugarcoat it. There's really not a better school around here than Michigan State.
Oh, really? For nursing? Oh, wow. Check that out. Okay. No, that's cool. All right. I know we got some comments here. There's, of course, Val B. I know Child of God here. Yes. Especially with Easter forthcoming, like you mentioned, too. J-Rod. Mets, are they better than your Islanders? Sorry, Islanders have been losing. Jay, you're amazing. Oh, thank you there, Val. Are they better? I don't know. You know me. I'm going to, how I feel about my Mets. So, Val, I'll lay low on that. Fuqua. I got to have you on as a guest, too, one of these days if you're willing to come on, a.k.a. Everyday Mets, Road to Penmark, etc. And I know due to rain, I got the Marlins on now, believe it or not, of all teams. Yeah, I'll probably bounce around too. JR Fishing again, thanks for coming on my channel. That's, of course, from Val. Let's see, Val also. Do you know Will Smith, Sharks player? Of course, Val, if it's going to be Will Smith, it's going to be Steph Curry. He's always going to say something about Draymond, and I'm missing one other person. Oh, Matt Chapman. Oh, and, of course, can't forget George Kittle. J-Rod, and just think Yax almost went pro before the season. Yeah, you would know more about that, J-Rod. Did he almost go? He almost went pro. Is that right?
Yeah, he was contemplating the draft or staying in college, and I think Dusty May is what sucked him in. He wanted a year under his belt under a real coach, and look what it did.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing too. I get it that the lure, the money, the NBA, etc. I mean, it's always going to be there. But I understand if you get injured, and I get that too. But this is what happens. If he would have got drafted going into the NBA this past year, he'd probably be averaging 2 points a game, sitting at the end of a bench, not getting a lot of playing time. Where now he's going to be a top pick, and especially if he comes out and wins a national championship and happens to be the MOP, most outstanding, instead of MVP. Forget about it. He's going to be easily top 5, and therefore, by staying in school another year, it's actually going to benefit him more than him coming out last year.
Well, I don't know if you know or not, but Yaxel didn't start playing basketball until he was 18 years old.
I know, which is incredible. Yes, I did know about that. Yeah. Can you imagine?
And he gives everything to his mom for pushing him, because at that time, evidently, he was not a great human being. And, his mom talked him into doing the right thing, and he did it and never looked back.
And look at that. Kudos to his moms, because who knows? He may not even be in Michigan if it wasn't because of her. Think about that, or even playing basketball for that matter. So
she could maybe not even be alive or incarcerated if it wasn't for that. Who knows?
100%.
Who knows?
Yes. No.
And in my opinion, that had a lot to do with why he wanted to come to Michigan. He played 2 years in junior college, 2 years in UAB or at UAB. Right. He wanted 1 year under his belt under a real coach at a real school.
Yeah. No, and good for him, man. And look where he's at now. He's going to Final Four and hopefully beyond, and to a national championship. So Top coming off the field in St. Louis. I'll turn to that in a second there. Thank you for that, Fuqua. I appreciate it. Oh, here we go. Mark Salmons. Who's the best troller on the channel? Well, I guess you have the heavyweight belt right now. Maybe there's somebody else, but Mark, I'll give it to you. How's that? For now. And then Bio has J-Rod. I heard Penei Sewell is switching from right tackle to left tackle.
Yeah, Dan Campbell's press conference yesterday, he mentioned it and said it was not out of the realm of possibility.
And that's the thing. Your biggest strength a few years ago was that offensive line, and now it's like they're going to have to.
It was so garbage and terrible last year. You and me could have played better, man.
You're probably right. Oh, man. And then the thing is, of course, I know your defense was all nicked up too, and that's also going to be, a big reason why you guys.
The Lions are leaving like a really bad taste in my mouth right now. They're like forcing Frank Ragnow to give back some money and shit. And
yeah,
for what, man? For what?
Yeah, I know it shouldn't even come down to that. I mean, obviously, the Lions, especially,
he put everything on the line, and played without one complaint when the Lions were garbage for all those years. And you're going to make him give back a signing bonus? That's trash.
Yeah, no, that is. Just leave him be. That's that. I mean, who knows what that means toward the cap? Maybe that's because they're asking for money back. But yeah, it's obviously not a good look by the
I don't care if it prevents us from signing another free agent. That's still trash.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. There goes Mark again. He speaks facts. Oh, wait, what's he going to say? I'll donate and get Super Chat's great channel. All right, well, Mark, if you're going to do that, I appreciate that. And, yeah, I got to look further into that, too, because that'd be a big thing for the channel and, of course, for yours truly. All right, so, of course, let's talk about this real quick because I know how much you love. Let me get this off. Hold on a second. Fishing Angel, of course, with your name and with what you do. And, obviously, J-Rod, you doing the same when the weather's nice. I don't know how the weather is today, but would it be a day to get out there to fish? Well, how is it looking in Clio, Michigan?
Today. It's only like 32 today.
Yeah, we tried fishing. What was it the other day?
Yeah, we went the other day and just sat on the river for something to do because it was nice and didn't even get a bite.
Wow. Wait, so it's 32 today in Clio? Hold on a second.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they went from 72 yesterday to 32.
Yeah, that's insane because right now in New York, let's see, or in the Bronx.
Let me check it out. I'm going to minimize this and I'm going to look. Oh.
Well, I'm still there.
You're still there? I see you.
Well, if I close it out, it shuts it right down. It won't let me minimize it. I was going to get on the Weather Channel and look exactly, but it won't let me.
No? Yeah, I can look at it for you. Yeah, of course, my app is responding slow. But
I know yesterday when I looked, it said 32 today, but I haven't looked on the Weather Channel app to see exactly what it is. It don't look too pleasant out there, though. I know that.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy. I thought it'd be warm. I know you said yesterday, obviously, it was in the 70s, but to think that and that happens here in New York too. Excuse me, but
really
I would thought
depends on the water. If the water's still cold, the fish aren't ready to spawn. So when the warm water starts coming around, it's a lot easier to catch the fish.
As they say here in Michigan about our weather, if you don't like the weather, wait a couple of minutes and it'll most likely probably change.
Wow.
When we were sitting on the river, it was beautiful. The sun was out, everything, and then it just got cloudy as hell, started sprinkling. I'm like, yeah, we're out of here.
No, hey, listen, once it starts to rain, forget about it.
Yeah, I think the water's just too cold. So fish ain't, and that's like she was just saying, that's what triggers fish to start doing their thing, like spawning and, moving from point A to point B or, doing whatever is water temperature. That triggers everything. And it's just not there yet.
It has a lot to do with the DNR putting fish into the rivers too. You also got to think about that. They got to get time to settle into the rivers and be in the environment. And
we need water temperature about 42 to 45-ish degrees. And then that'll start triggering stuff and then it'll be on like Donkey Kong.
All right. No, that's interesting considering that the weather was warm yesterday and then just drop of a hat. Now it's 40 degrees less.
Actually, here in Michigan right now, there's rules and regulations on fishing on the rivers right now.
Is that right?
Yes, from March 13th to the last Saturday in April, fishing in the rivers shut down for the walleye run.
Yep.
Oh, wow. So you got to wait till the end of April.
You can still fish. You just, there's only certain ways you can fish.
Right. And as I'm looking now, Clio is
Rules
35.
right now are no weighted hooks,
No trouble.
no treble hooks, and
Right.
no live minnows. Those are the 3 rules that we have right now.
Wow. All right. And then to think, I'm looking at it here, Clio, 35 degrees feels like 21.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds about right.
That is brutal. Yeah. New York today 76, and then the novice, obviously, he says, "Oh yeah, well it's 84 and sunny here." So yes,
I know my mom and dad are here right now, and my dad offered to take me to get my tire fixed, and I'm like, no, I don't even want to deal with it today. It's too cold. I'll wait till tomorrow.
No. Hey, listen, I hear that. It's the cold. I'll do it to you for sure. All right, let me get Bio. Actually, has a question for you guys.
Oh, okay, cool.
J-Rod, who's your favorite athlete of all time? And Fishing Angel, the same.
Charles Woodson.
Ooh,
I gotta think. You gotta give me a second.
sure.
I would say Axel.
Yaxel.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
I would say Axel just because he is very strong-minded, and once he sets his mind to something, he can accomplish it no problem.
Hey, listen, that's a very good choice. And considering with all the athletes that, of course, come from Detroit, whether it's Red Wings, Pistons, Tigers, etc., and to pick the Axel, that obviously speaks high of what we've talked about before with him
Yeah.
and his mom and all
I
that. So
say
good, that's a
Charles
good pick.
Woodson just because that was at like the time in my life, when I was just getting into college football, and
Yeah.
Obviously he was the man at
Yes, he was.
Michigan,
Yep.
and it just sucked me in.
Yeah.
I would say Yaxel and Steve Eiserman are my two favorites.
Oh, yeah. You can't go wrong with Stevie Y. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so Mark, I watch because I like content. It's all
Yeah.
accurate. That's good. That's good. All right, here we go. What's going on here? All right, Mark. Hey, Mark is trolling here. I'm not going to post these comments. Hold on. Oh, so the start of the game now, 2:15. Favorite Michigan player of all time, Barry Sanders. Hey, can't go wrong with him. Can't go wrong with Barry Sanders. Of course, you know who mine is, Mr. Bob Probert, but But
No,
no, it's
Barry
good
was
stuff.
the man. The Lions did Barry so wrong.
Yeah, I know. To think he played there 10 years, decided to retire, and never came
I don't
back. And a lot of
blame
people thought he could have come back,
As
but
a Lions fan, I don't blame him.
yeah,
What did the Lions do to help that team when Barry was there, killing it? Bring
Yeah.
in Scott Mitchell. Come on.
for
Come
the
on.
Dolphins. Yeah, he had that
Yeah,
one
come
year. Let me think.
After he had 2 games after Marino got hurt that he
Yeah,
played
'cause
well.
Excellent point, because in '93, Marino blew out his Achilles in Cleveland,
Yeah.
and then
Yep,
was
and
9
then
and
Mitchell backed him up for I think it was the last 3 or 4 games and did okay. And then Detroit just offered him a crap load of money.
Yeah,
Like, come on, dude. Come on.
yeah.
And
And I
then
know he
after they
had
gave him
one.
that and he stunk it up, they didn't have any other money to give anybody else.
Yeah. And to think the money was in their offense at that time, because you got Herman Moore, you had Barry Sanders, I believe Brett Perman, the wide receiver, was on the team. Not that he was Herman Moore, but Johnny Morton.
Oh crap! What was Lomas Brown?
Yep, exactly. Longtime tackle. Yeah, so all that money was there because defensively, geez, who were their players back then? Kelvin Pritchard, I think it
Defense
was.
Garbage back then. We had Chris Spielman, and that was about it.
Yeah, Robert Porcher is another guy. I know Jeff Utley.
Porcher was good, but that was he was kind of washed at that time. He was 100%. You can't deny he was at the end of his career.
Yeah, absolutely. Bryant Westbrook was another one. The defensive. No, maybe was that in the '90s? Bryant Westbrook. I'm trying to think. A corner. I have to go back and look that one up. But yeah, no, and the Lions, they had a power offense, but they certainly didn't.
No, that
obviously,
team was
Scott
great.
Mitchell didn't hold up his end of the bargain.
No, absolutely not.
Matt Noah, what is happening?
How can you sign somebody and not know that he's colorblind?
Yeah.
How
Well,
do you
player
give
development
some
in the
guy
scouting.
millions of dollars and not know that he's colorblind?
Listen, he pulled the wool over their eyes, or maybe the scouting report. Maybe the scout was
good for
blind
Scott
himself.
Mitchell, dude. I mean, he made a buttload of money. You know,
No,
like
he
you
did.
said, he definitely pulled the wool over the Lions' eyes. You know,
Yeah,
and more power to him for that. You know,
yeah. Bo Jackson had Barry B. As far as career, I'd say no, Mark, but I know that's probably a rage bait comment, so I'll leave that there. Dean ended up on top. Great player though. Or top as far as two-way player, maybe.
if Bo kept going, I mean, he would have been right there. You know, it would have been like 1A and 1B kind of deal. But
Absolutely.
what Bo play? 4 years?
Yeah, I believe so. He got drafted 85, and he played 86 to 90 because he hurt himself in that playoff game against the Bengals. Was 91.
Yeah, he blew out his hip, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean, he played baseball, but yeah,
No, and he was great at both. But
Yep.
you know, as a football player compared to Barry Sanders, come on.
no. Matt, a Bears fan. Yes, I'm sure he's ecstatic over his team, especially what happened in last year. Yep, that's right, Matt. You got it. Barry was a one-man
He
team.
actually did some good stuff this offseason, in my opinion.
With the Bears?
Yeah.
Yeah, they showed up that offensive line. I know the one guy retired. Drew Dahlman, the center, but then and
I
listen,
like them bringing in Devin Bush. In my opinion, trade Moore. That was kind of dumb.
yeah,
Why would you?
and
do
the Bills.
that?
Yeah, why did he do that? I don't know.
I mean,
Marks.
they think
Temple.
Colston Loveland and crap. What's his name from Washington? I can't. Think of his name.
Yeah, I'm drawing blanks. Washington Commanders.
I know
Which
he
one?
played
Offensive
Michigan in
defense?
the national championship when he was at Washington, but I can't remember his name.
Oh, Roma Dunze.
Yeah, there you go. They think Colston Loveland and Roma Doomsday's, going to cover that void. And in my opinion, that's craziness.
Yeah. No, it is. I agree with you there on that, Jay. Oh, here we go. Bio says J-Rod, Kevin McGonigal for the Tigers is for real.
I would have to agree. I mean, obviously the sample size is extremely small, but I'm going to have to agree.
Yeah.
He looks legit.
Yeah, a lot of people think, he had the 4 hits in the one game and, in his opening, his debut. And then, listen, if he adds that bat to that lineup, and we've talked about the lineup before, and maybe we should spend a minute on the Tigers. Forget, we won't talk Scooble because I know how you feel about Scooble, and I'm with you on that boat. But how do you think that this team's going to fare here throughout the course of the year, considering that they do have, the ace pitcher that this unlikely is going to be his last year in Detroit?
I don't know. I mean, it could go both ways. It could completely fall apart and blow up in their face for the whole Scooble drama. And, every other day somebody's writing a story or saying this and blah, blah, blah. Or, they could compete for a World Series, and I really don't know. And like I said, as much as a Tiger fan as I am, I hope Scooble goes 4-18 with a 7 ERA this year. I really wouldn't care. I really wouldn't care.
That would be something. That would certainly ruin his free agency big giant payday. But I
hope it blows up in his face and he loses millions of dollars. I really do.
Yeah, I tell you.
I hope things get better for
because he's being the me guy without saying I'm the me guy.
Correct.
And you can't tell me any different.
No,
because that's how I'm looking at it, and that's how I see it. And obviously we live in Michigan. I see the local stuff every single day, and I've said it many times. I think even you said it a couple times. He's 100% being the me guy without saying I'm the guy.
That's it. No, absolutely. Man, we'll obviously see how that goes throughout the course of the season, whether or not he has that 4-18 year or another Cy Young type of year.
I doubt he'll get his ass handed to him all year long. He's a great pitcher. Don't get me wrong. I'm just tired of hearing all this crap.
Or he could do this. He could put all the bull crap behind him, not listen to anything that anybody's saying, and just think positive and do what he's got to do for his team.
Well, that's what he says. That's what he says in an interview, and then goes back out and, pitches 6 innings and won't push himself physically. He refuses to.
Yeah.
And in my
We've
mind,
seen that.
that's not us or team. End of discussion in my mind.
No, and I'm with you.
And it's not just one occasion that he refuses to push himself physically. It's multiple occasions.
Right. Yeah. I can't argue with you on that. And this, based on, I've said it a million times, the playoff game, especially against Seattle, which
I've said many times, after that Seattle game, I would have been cool for them trading for a bat boy from a different team.
Yes. So that's what we got.
That's completely unacceptable. You can't do that, man. You're on the cusp of, going farther than the Tigers have been in 15 years?
Yeah.
And you refuse to push yourself physically?
Right.
I can take it on the chin if you go out there and get your ass handed to you.
Yeah.
I can deal with that.
Yeah.
But not even trying, I can't.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Or not going max effort. Yeah, no, I totally agree with. And even Matt says easy division, so definitely can win it. So yeah, and he says he's a White Sox fan and a suffering one too at that. And I'm actually watching White Sox Marlins, and the Marlins already up 4-0, second inning.
The White Sox are though. They always play the Tigers tough. I don't know what it is, but they always do.
Yeah, it's funny because last year I remember we were going down the stretch. How many? Let me think. I forgot what their season series record was, but yeah, they do play the Tigers tough. So hopefully that won't be the case this year. Especially the Tigers.
We get our first home game, not today, but Friday, I believe.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Yeah, scheduled for the next few days, and of course I'll talk about that.
Maybe Friday or Saturday is our first home game.
It is actually going to be, based on what I see here, Friday against St. Louis.
Okay.
Yeah, so they'll open up then. And got a bunch of other teams opening up for the first time. I know Yankees, Red Sox, White Sox. I think they're getting postponed. They're supposed to play tomorrow, but I guess the weather's going to be bad in Chicago. So,
and why is there such a big gap in the Frozen Four for hockey? They don't play the Frozen Four until April 8th. That's dumb.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
That's 2 weeks in between the last game they played.
Yeah, that's like the college football.
Yeah, I agree.
Let me see what Skeens is doing. Skeens, 1 hit, 3 innings, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. I probably should put that game on just to watch it. All right. So, Fishing Angel, I have a question.
Yes.
Did you, I think once upon a time, did you say you played sports?
Yes.
When you were growing up?
Yes.
What was your favorite sport to play?
I would say track, softball, baseball. Never played hockey.
Okay.
I don't really care for the coldness. I like to be warm instead of cold.
Yes.
I would say track would probably be my favorite. Just being able to run and being in that fresh air and getting the exercise and building the muscle that you're supposed to be building. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Do you run now at any point? Treadmill or neighborhood?
With our son, and we tend to jog and run at the same time. I like to do the yoga. Very stressful situations, yoga helps me a lot.
Yeah, yoga is very underrated. I need to do more of it. I've been doing a lot more stretching over the last few months. But it's very underrated because people think, I can't get out of bed, or no, stretch and you won't have a lot of those problems. And I know J-Rod, I know not to break down the medical history, but do you stretch often? Because I would think, considering with some of your ailments, that would be one of the things.
I actually got some stretches from physical therapists that I do every once in a while when I'm, really dying in pain.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I can't even imagine. I know some of the stuff you said last night in the chat, and not to unpack that, but I'm sure it's got to be challenging on a day in, day out basis to try to combat that.
But
I've been dealing with it for a very long time, so I guess best way of saying it is I know how to deal with it or live with it, I guess you could say.
But my favorite sport that we do a lot is fishing.
I dealt with it for 15 years, taking pain medicine, and now I've been without the pain medicine for like 6 years now. So, just one of them things, once it starts bothering me, that's a wrap. I'm done.
No, 100%.
Oh,
All
I
right, so
played
now,
boys basketball and girls basketball when I was in high school too. I forgot to tell you that. And I actually got transferred from the boys team to the girls team because I was so good on the boys team. The girls team wanted me.
oh, so they needed a boost. They needed like a big time ringer, so they chose you. That's great.
Right.
No, that's awesome.
I
And
played
now,
basketball too.
oh, say that again, Jay.
I said I played basketball too in high school, middle school.
Oh, did you? Listen, obviously you have the height, so I'm sure you were out there. Maybe not trying to dunk on people, but I'm sure you were trying to, throw your body around
I
to
could
show
dunk.
that.
I could probably not anymore, but back then I could.
No, of course.
Actually, at one time in middle school, man, they forced me to carry my birth certificate with me to show the opposing team's coach that I
Oh, look
was
at
the
that.
age that I was.
Oh man, they had a little.
They'd see me walk in the gym, and they'd start shaking in their booties.
And of course, they wanted that birth certificate, a la, if you remember the name Danny Almonte from the Little League World
Not
Series.
every
years
school,
ago.
though. Some schools had dudes that were taller than me, and dunking from the free throw line and shit.
Right. No, that's funny.
We
Now,
did actually. We played Carmen Ainsworth one year, man, and they had this dude. He was, man, this kid could hoop. I don't know whatever happened to him, like if he ever went to college or anything like that, but holy crap, this
Wow.
kid was amazing.
Now our son was in football and he was really good at it. He was real good at it.
I think we
Wow.
lost that game by like 47 points.
47? Jeez.
Yeah, we got destroyed that game.
Wow. Wow, look at that.
Carmen Ainsworth. I remember it very, very, very well.
Carmen Ainsworth. All right. No, good stuff there, Jay.
All right,
so
little school outside of Flint, Michigan.
Oh, okay. Outside of Flint. How far is Flint from you guys?
25 minutes.
Oh, wow. It's pretty close.
No, not that far.
No?
No, that's where Trey McKinney's from.
I don't
Oh,
like
is he?
Playing on Michigan right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's
Yep,
from
he's
Flint.
from Flint, Michigan.
I do not like Flint.
Actually went to Carmen Ainsworth, the school
Oh,
that
did
I
he?
was just talking about.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
And look at Matt. I remember Almonte, 14-year-olds. Yeah, exactly. That was 2001. Yeah, that was ugly. But yeah, good stuff there, Matt. All right, so let me ask you this before I wrap up, because I'm going to get ready to land this plane in a few minutes.
Oh, you're good. I got to start getting ready to go to this clinic appointment too.
Yes, and I wish you well with that. I do have to ask this. I hope I don't put a in between you two, because obviously you both fish. Are you both competitive with one another when it comes to that, or are you well past that to the point?
100%.
Oh, really?
Time.
She wouldn't
So there's a
know
lot of trash
anything
talking
about
going
fishing
on?
if it wasn't for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I wondered if there was a situation like that. And obviously, since I have you both here now, I was always curious to find out whether or not, like, when you guys are out there, is it always a thing where it's like, oh, I want to
Even just sitting in a lawn chair on the shore, man, it's a competition.
And if I lose a fish,
We'll be packing up the stuff to leave, and I caught more than you, babe.
Yep, I will too.
This fish was bigger than that one.
Yep.
Uh-huh. All right, so obviously it's a very healthy competition in the household when it comes to
we make it fun, and I'm excited and stoked when I catch the big ones.
Oh, nice. And so you got to wait to the end of April, or really, let's say May, in order for you guys to get out there. And I understand, like you said
we
earlier,
can fish. Like I was just saying, there's
certain
rules and
spots.
regulations for it. You get caught fishing outside those rules and regulations, you're going to get a ticket.
Yeah.
And literally, if I lose a fish, oh my gosh, it's like the end of the world. And he is laughing his butt off.
So basically, this time of year till the last Saturday in April, we've just fished with a worm and a hook.
Right.
And then we're good.
Like,
we're within the regulations.
Like if I lose a fish, I won't talk to him for 2 days.
Literally. Oh, wow.
But actually, like I was saying, when the water temperature warms up here pretty soon, that'll be fishing time. That's when fish around here start doing their thing, and lots more fish, and a certain spot, at one time, and they'll start feeding after they spawn and get a lot easier to catch, and weather dictates fishing a lot.
No, I understand. No, totally. And obviously you guys are well versed in that. And of course, that's what you love. That's what you do. That's how, you make your
Like I said
living.
many times, I've thought about making YouTube fishing videos, but it's taken
Right.
my whole life to know what I know. I just can't, I can't get over the fact of like going to a spot and fishing and, saying how I did it and where and when and how and blah, blah, blah. And then just throwing it out there, that's for you to find out. Do your homework like I did.
Stop
Yeah.
stop taking what we have learned and using it in your knowledge.
Like
Use your own
besides
Right.
my YouTube account, I do one other social media thing, and it's called Fish Brain. It's basically like a Facebook for fishing.
Yeah.
And I get asked every single day, where you fish? How do you fish? What do you catch? What are you using? When do you go?
Yeah. They just want to pick your brain.
Yep. Just like Fishing Angel said, that's, I'll give them like a ballpark, but I'm not going to hold your hand and, take you to the river. I'm not going to do that.
No,
and we're not
course.
going to tell you our secret spots either. You have to find your own damn spot.
Got to earn it. Yeah. No.
People's spots and they get destroyed, or then the landowner, won't let you in there anymore because people start leaving trash and, just wreck the spot. I don't play that game anymore either.
Right. No, totally understand, man. I get that. And look at Nate Dogg was coming on here, but he's grinding you alive before he went to bed. And listen, I didn't go to sleep. I stood up all night, and here I am now with another. No, I'm kidding. So, but thank you, Nate Dogg. I appreciate that. But all right, guys, listen. I know that obviously you have an appointment. I appreciate you both as always. You know that you're a tremendous support.
Check out my videos.
Yes, and you and Val, because I also got to go onto Val's page and do that too. I will do that, and I will comment. I promise you that. But you guys are great. Thank you so much for stopping by, carving out time out of your day just to be a part of this live. And
not a problem. It's amazing to actually do a live with you. It's like
I said a couple of days ago, man, I was at the point where I was gonna give your number to Fishing Angel because I got tired of being the middleman there for a minute, buddy.
I know, and that's why I said, no, tell her that we're gonna do it this Wednesday. No ifs, ands, buts, maybes about it. So and here we are.
Man. I'm joking. Shit happens, dude.
Oh no, of course.
If you make a promise, you better stick to that promise.
Oh no, absolutely. I would not. Yeah, I would not tell you otherwise. I'm not in the business here
to. An extremely impatient person.
Yeah, that I am.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So obviously I gotta.
Impatient.
But enjoys fishing. So math.
Yeah. No.
You put your wife on. I would love to see your wife.
Yes. I'll let you know ahead of time. I know we have to do that, and I tell her all the time. In fact, she waved here because she has her headphones on. She doesn't want to hear me babble.
I'm waving back.
Yeah, she's waving back. She's in the zone because she's actually working. So, but no, I'll definitely let her know. And you guys, thanks again. I enjoyed it, and enjoy the rest of your day. And go blue come Saturday.
Go blue. Everybody have a great day.
Go Jay Rios. Subscribe. He's the best.
Thank you for
Jay Rios for the win, and go sports.
Yes, go sports indeed. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Yes, thank you. You too, guys. That was a good spot. Loved it. All right, let's see. What we got? Well, good luck, Jay. I was checking on you. Wish you the best. Matt, thank you, man. I appreciate you stopping by. And today, a lot of activity here in the room. And Mark, listen, I know you're what's the at? Oh, I missed that. I'm gonna have to scroll back up. Bo Jackson for the win. And listen, Mark, Bo Jackson, if you have to break down, 6-0 Marlins. Yeah, is this Met game starting? I could turn this off. You could argue that Bo Jackson is probably one of the top 10 athletes that this country's ever produced, without question. And I understand the hip injury. That obviously certainly didn't help. He did play baseball after. Is that a home run? Oh, nice effort. But that's a home run. Yeah. Why do they think that was not a home run? All right. So, no, Bo Jackson's no joke. Bo Jackson was no joke, I should say, because he's not playing anymore. But What's that? I probably won't either if I'm being honest. All right, man. Nate Dog. Oh, hang on. Why is it not clicking? It looks like a news channel, very professional looking. You know what's funny? I appreciate you saying that, Nate. I'm actually using, well, if I'm on my phone, that's one thing. But generally, when I do this live stream, I use a better quality camera, which I do not have connected. I'm actually using my laptop camera, which is dangerous. And thankfully, it looks good. I'm glad that that's the case. And I could have connected that, but where I'm sitting at on my sofa as opposed to the sports desk, I don't have a lot of outlets. And I do have this one outlet over there and extension cords. I know it's going to sound lame, almost like an excuse, but yeah, like we ditched all of our extension cords because the way we have everything centralized when it comes to our TV and a couple other areas in the house, like we just don't want it sticking out, and we got rid of that. So yeah, if I were to plug in my ring light, which is of course in front of me, on top of this laptop, and I have one of the USB, I don't know if you could see it in the, yeah, I have this connected. It's connected to the laptop, but I'm limited with what I have here. Not that it has anything to do with the power, but I need that to connect the microphone. So yeah, it's just a messed up situation for yours truly when it comes to plugs. So that's why I'm using the laptop camera. Mark, I appreciate you, man. I do. And I understand you came out with some things. I couldn't put that on. Come on. I mean, that's not cool. And I understand you're a troll and you're the best troll here on the channel, but I just couldn't do that. Thank you, Matt. You know, I appreciate you. When we get to 1K, yeah, listen. Let's do it. I'm down. I promise I can talk. Listen, just let me know. I'm trying to see if I can get on a couple other people. There's 3 people. I had this guy from who's a reporter for, he does the Aztecs, San Diego State, but I want to kind of get the feel of San Diego. So I'm trying to get more guests on as we move it along. I know it's tough, man, when you're independent like me and, you know, at the bottom of the food chain. Obviously, it's not easy to get certain athletes or media people, et cetera. There's so many people doing podcastings things of that nature. But there we go, Mark. All right. If you mean that, I appreciate that. And I'm going to take your word for it because you wouldn't be here to, I understand you troll at times, but I appreciate that. And thank you, Bio. Bio and I go way back, so he knows. Much appreciate that. But Matt, yeah, let me know. I'm second best, Mark. More like 35th best, but I'm getting better. That's all we can do, right? Day in, day out, do what you do. But no, let's do it. Let's connect. I'm definitely down for that. And yeah, I want to get more guests on. Maybe I can have you on as well. We can do that. I troll, but can't troll you. All right. No Bio at Easter early. Jumping in on the comments there. I'm having someone on tonight, but he's kind of nervous. I'm trying. What time is that going to be on? Let me know because I would definitely like to check that out. I mean, obviously, you hop on mine. I would definitely like to check it out. Hey, could you imagine that, Zip? That would be awesome. Hey, Val's back. 6-0 still, huh? All right, yeah, I'm going to change this because I know Fuqua, I don't know if you're still there. Is the game? Let me go back to SNY. Yeah, I'll do that in a second. Yeah, because I'm going to get ready to land this plane in a second. Yeah, Gary Cohen, let me tell you something. If I were able to have Gary Cohen on, and look at how he rose too. Oh, you know what? They do have the interesting. Yeah, I'm just looking at the what you call it. Yeah, I didn't know if they had the roof open there. I guess they had the what you call it down in Miami. Anybody been to that ballpark in Miami? I think it's great. Oh, look at that. You got a sub there, Matt. Yeah, and if I haven't subbed to your channel, that's a shame on me. I think I have, but I got to go back and double check. Hold on. Yeah, that would not be cool if I didn't do that. But yeah, let me bounce around here. I have the prayer. Thank you. I know I have the face for radio, but no, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, Matt, there we go. Perfect voice just to get that in the clear. And then Matt Noah, thanks. Yeah, Matt, if I haven't subscribed, I'm definitely going to do that because then I guess I'll get notified if when you do your live tonight so I can check it out. Yeah, Howie Rose would be great. I know he's retiring this year, so. All right, people. So you know the drill. Let me pull this up here real quick. Get my banners. You already know tomorrow, podcast pregame, 9:45. And also Friday, I'll talk more about it tomorrow because I don't know what time. I'm thinking about doing a live outside of Yankee Stadium on Friday. Now, it may rain. I got to check the weather. It's supposed to be in the mid-60s, so it's not going to be cold, which is good. But, yeah, because I'm going to go out there and film some content. Not necessarily just the live stuff, but yeah, just get a feel. I'm not going to the game. I'll just be outside. You get a sense of me outside of Yankee Stadium. I'll do a live. Maybe I'll get other people involved or whatever. But yeah, so that's coming more tomorrow in reference to that. Latest edition of the podcast tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'll try to switch up from some of the things I talked about today, not kind of repeat it. Listen, it's tough because unless something crazy happens over the next 24 hours, I won't be it'll pretty much be the same thing. But I'll give it a little bit more of a twist. Please subscribe, leave a comment if you haven't done so already. I would sincerely appreciate it. It's a great way to support the channel. As I'm trying to get to that super chat status there, Mark, thanks to you, and I appreciate that for bringing that up. And yes, thank you everybody for stopping live. Oh, here we go. Jay Reels, would you interview Leonard? John? Yeah, Rocker's a lost cause. But you know what? Listen. If Rocker were to I would interview him, but I'd have to be fair in the interview. I have to go back to that article of Sports Illustrated. Yeah, he's off his rocker. Yeah, Eastern time for everything I say. Yes, Matt, Eastern time. Yeah, I'm on the East Coast. 8:45 a.m. for me. Yeah, so yeah, because you're in Central. Yeah, East. Yes. I appreciate you for clarifying that, Matt. Yeah, I know Dykstra's a loose cannon, as you know. But I would love to talk to Dykstra. I would take Dykstra first. He's a met rocker. Who knows what he's going to add? He would be super unpredictable. Same for Dykstra. I mean, you never know what's going to come out of his mouth, too. And yes, Val, 10:45. Oh, right now it's 10:56 your time. Was he really? Well, let me ask you this, Fuko. Was he on with Cowboy Bull in that season? What do you got to say about that? It's pretty good, right? Listen, I appreciate you guys, as always. I know I say that every live stream. Of course, having J-Rod and Fishing Angel on. And I owe that to them because they've been wanting to come on. More so Fishing Angel to come on for a while. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I plan to have some guests, hopefully during this time slot, which would be great. And if you do or do not know, you already know, in the blood and the DNA, talking sports since birth. And of course, the shirt says it all. That's right. New media. Becky Jackson. Oh, like Simon? What's his name? Simon Caldwell? I forgot his last name. Really? I don't know. Should I take that as a compliment, Becky? I appreciate that. Is that, let me see. Becky Jackson, F81. Well, thanks for stopping on by. I appreciate that. And Falcons forgot to add my last message. No, that's all right there, Val. It's all good. All right, guys. So, yeah, I'm going to sign off. As always, I appreciate your support. I'll be back tomorrow, 9:45 a.m. Eastern time. Definitely hop on board then for the latest and greatest, as well as 11 a.m., the latest podcast. And as we get into the month of April, hopefully don't get fooled by any of the April Fools out there. This is not my final live stream. I know it's on my thumbnail, but it's not my final one. So you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, great showing today. I love it. A lot of people came in and out. Right now, yeah, to get double digits is great. And hey, even if it was single digits, which it has been, but I don't care. As long as I'm here with you guys and you guys are spending your time with me, again, truly grateful and thankful for that. So with that being said, people from the South Bronx, South Beach, South Central, South Pacific, and all points beyond, peace, love, and God bless. Enjoy the rest of your hump day. I'll hopefully see you guys and gals tomorrow. Please subscribe to the channel to support. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time on the flip, baby. And any last minute Red Wings, I forgot. April Fools. Ha ha. You got me. On the flip, baby.